Last year, I bought my first hypercar, and then when this year began, I decided that I wanted to do something similar. We were originally looking at buying an old or a new supercar, but then we decided that the thrill, the rush, and the experience of owning and buying a hypercar is something that's unmatched. So I spoke to you guys and I made a promise. We are getting our second hypercar. The journey has begun, and we've looked at everything from Bugattis all the way over to Carrera GTs. We need to make a decision, and I think that we have. If you haven't seen the last video, we decided to begin the journey by looking for a new hypercar in some trusted locations. We traveled all the way to a dealership called Joseph Quinn, where we spoke to a friend who had a 918 Spyder in stock. As you know, we already had a 918 Spyder, and the idea was maybe we should get a second. We rubbed that idea out quite quickly, and we moved on to looking at other supercars. So we visited places like European Prestige, where I actually bought the 918 Spyder from. Over there, we managed to see some very, very special things, but the journey and the search had to continue. When I bought the 918 Spyder, I knew that's what I wanted, and I knew that that car would be a safe and reliable and a confident purchase. Therefore, I wanted to see what other cars that would fit into a similar bracket. We headed down to Supercar Driver's secret meet at Silverstone Formula One track to figure out which car we should buy. And we spoke to a bunch of experts. We met up with Mark McCann, we met up with Shmi, we met up with Christian from Romans, and a bunch of others. So now that I have all of this information ready, wrapped up and packed, it is time to make a decision. Or should I say, time to make the decision. It's time we buy that second hypercar. So it's time to decide which car we're getting. Last time you saw us, we looked at a few cars and we had an opinion from a few people, but ultimately, I guess it's down to me to make the decision. So let's recap and go through the cars that are currently on the purchase list, or on the I can afford that list. So starting off loud, the Lexus LFA, one of the best sounding cars of all time. The next car on the list, we're looking at the Carrera GT. They're about 1.6 million pounds now for an okay example. A great car and the daddy to the 918 Spyder. Speaking of Porsches, we could get another 918 Spyder. McLaren P1, again, it goes with the 918 Spyder, part of the Holy Trinity. One of the coolest cars of all time. Sticking with McLaren, there is the McLaren Senna. This is a very, very cool car. I was considering it last year. My friend Kyle let me borrow his to drive, and I had nothing but praises to sing about it. Aston Martin Valhalla, a new entry into the hypercar world. I drove this car last year and I was honestly blown away. It was one of the most incredible things I've ever driven. And last but not least, the Bugatti Veyron, the daddy of hypercars. Literally like the first car that was called a hypercar. I have never been a massive fan of them, but they have started to age well. That's on the list as well. You know, buying a hypercar is a serious situation. There are many cars to choose from. But there's not only one of me in this relationship. Well, there is one of me in the relationship, but there's two people in my relationship. And that's my wife, Camille, as well. So she's joining me in our wonderful cinema room to observe the latest creation by Tomi Auto, Which Hypercar, a great way to spend money and make money and drive and have fun, part 2, because we did part 1 last year.
When did you have time to even make this?
Don't worry about that. Tomi Auto, that's me. Are you ready to go? I'm going to show you a few hypercars, and I essentially just want you to help me narrow it down. There are several cars on the list. I'm going to go through them one by one, and I want you to help me make a decision to get it down to 3 cars.
Fine.
So, first car, Aston Martin Valhalla, new hotness. I've put new hotness because it's new. Even though it was announced about 7 years ago, it's recently come out. Twin turbo V8 hybrid, doors do go up. And I think, personally, it looks sexy. Drove it last year, handled well. Here are some bonuses. Fast, new, and it looks cool. Would you agree it looks cool?
It does look cool.
Is it new? Yes.
Yes.
Is it fast? Yes.
Yes.
The price of this car, flaming, look at that. Between £900, no, $900,000, $1 million dollars.
Wow.
Ignore the dollars.
Okay. Right. What we said that.
Oh, it's a projector. You can't plug it out. The only issue is because it's new, it's hard to know what the prices will do. So this will probably be one of the biggest risks in terms of bang for your buck reward. What do you think? Score out of 10.
6.
6. Next on the list is Old Faithful Porsche 918 PT2. That stands for part 2. It's not like a special thing. This looks familiar because it's our car. You may be thinking, Tommy, why are you pitching me another 918? And well, peak. I would say it's peak Porsche. It doesn't get any more cool Porsche than that. Best hypercar, that's not just me that said that. Everyone in the world agrees with that.
Right.
Everyone, like every single person. And it was made by Germans. You may be thinking, what has that got to do with a hypercar? Well, it's reliable, it's dependable, and also it's affordable. Well, when I say affordable, the car still does cost, well, significantly more than what we paid for it.
2.2 million.
Yes,
plural.
but we bought it for 1.25 million. So now you see the investment value in a 918 Spyder. What are your thoughts on the 918 Spyder? I know it's a 10 out of 10 from you, but in terms of purchasing it for the next hypercar, what do you think?
I think this is actually quite a cool idea. Could do a little his and hers thing. I'll do mine baby pink.
I think we're going to take the 918 off the list. Next, we have 1.6 million pounds, Fire. Carrera GT. Oh, that Fire probably shouldn't have put Fire for that. I genuinely, I swear I didn't do that on purpose. That's actually really bad. Okay, 918's old man. It's the old version of the 918.
Okay.
We can say, look, text, cool, gets loads of looks from old men. You may be thinking, that's a negative, Tommy. That's not a positive. But old men are the people that can afford these cars.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, that's a nice looking car. I want to buy that. This sounds sick because it's a naturally aspirated V10. Dangerous in a cool way.
Why?
Because it was known for a few things. One being not necessarily the safest car to drive. And then a famous person may have passed away in one.
It's a 1 out of 10 from me. Next.
Next on the list, we have white screen, Lexus LFA.
PowerPoint. Come
Look, that was
on.
it. Lexus LFA though. It's all right. It's okay. Sounds cool.
In what way? Engine's nice?
900k, and that's what it looks like.
I absolutely do not like this. I'm so sorry.
Okay. I am also not. Look, I put that in to honor the people that commented that we should get one, but I think it is mid now, as in mid, like in the middle, like it's very
sorry.
okay.
This is just not our vibe. Everyone who's suggested this, I really love you for that, but no.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not the cutest car.
No, it's
It's not our vibe.
next on the list. 1.8 million schmeckles. What car could it be?
I love
Doom, doom,
your
doom,
spelling
doom,
of
doom,
schmeckles.
doom, doom, doom. Boom! McLaren P1. Bang! Sick. Bang! Fast. Holy Trinity. Looks like a McLaren. The doors go up because it has up doors. Of all the ones you've seen, would you put this on the shortlist?
Yeah.
Okay, shortlist. What?
I prefer that to the Lexus.
Yeah, everyone prefers that to the Lexus. Ooh, what's next? White screen. What could it be? McLaren Senna. I like a Senna. Oh, that was a really loud
I
scream.
love this car. Sorry. I think
Peak
this car is
McLaren.
sick.
The reason I say it's peak McLaren, no hybrid. The lightest McLaren ever made.
Ooh.
Named up. You know what? Let me just do this. Look, named after Ayrton Senna. I've misspelled that. Ayrton. Yes. Only 500 in the whole world. So there's like, how many people in the world? 7 billion? 8 billion people in the world. Let's say half of them are dudes. There's 4 billion dudes and there's only 500 Sennas. So 4 billion dudes would have to fight for the opportunity to drive a McLaren Senna. That's crazy. No hybrid, so no extreme repair costs. And also, because there's no hybrid, you can still put warranty on them. So it's sick. I'm bouncing because I'm hearing music in my head.
Hey.
Fast
Hey.
and light.
Hey.
Obnoxious wing.
The wing
Next
is
shot.
very
Fire! Look at that. Senna. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10% of the world's Senna in one picture. No, sorry, 1%. So, shortlist?
Yes, 100
Shortlist.
million %.
Shortlist. Senna.
For me, this is like the front runner. It
Senna
really
sick.
is.
That car looks mad. Next. What's going on? Aha! Bugatti Veyron.
Oh my
You know what this is.
gosh.
Bugatti Veyron. Bam. V Hypercar. See, I typed out so you know how serious it is. Bouncing. B bounce. Bugatti. That is a bonus because it's a Bugatti. Sick. It is sick. Fast. It was once the fastest car in the world. First hypercar. So when it came out in the early 2000s, it was revered because it was nothing like what was on sale. It was deemed something a step up from supercar. So they coined the term hypercar. Bang.
I did
Look at
not
that.
know that.
It
was a
looks
car.
like a bar of soap. I've said it many times. However, it has aged okay, apart from the lights at the front. And
I don't like those lights.
but this would be a great investment piece. Why? Well, last year these cars, you could pick it up for what, 900k, 850 for a decent one. Today, 1.8 million Great British pounds. W16. The only issue with the Bugatti Veyron, super expensive to maintain. However, Matt Armstrong and Mark McCann show me you can do it yourself, which they have done it themselves, but it seems to be hassle. And also, if you want an investment car, kind of want to maintain it properly, so when you sell it, it has all the stamps in its book. But this one, I think this is a sensible choice. So, would this be on the shortlist?
It would, but it's just so, for me, you can't really drive this car. I just can't I don't know, if where we live in London, are you going to drive a Bugatti around London?
I drive a 918 around London. The 918 is worth more than this. So, shortlist?
Yeah.
Okay, so the shortlist is shortlisted. We have the McLaren P1, the McLaren Senna, Bugatti Veyron, and then also another 918 Spyder, but I'm not really feeling getting another 918 Spyder because I want to be able to drive this car and enjoy this car. What's the point in having two of the same car? I don't know. That'll be like buying like two Pistas. Like, I don't know. Anyway, back to the video. This time last year when I was looking for the 918, I said that I was finding a hypercar to create legacy, create something that I can hand down to my children. I've got the SVJ, I've got the 918 Spyder, and I wanted to get something else. I also want to be able to drive the cars and share the experience with you. So we bought a second hypercar and we're gonna pick it up and you're gonna be the first to see it. It's one of the three remaining on the list, Bugatti, P1 or McLaren Senna. We're gonna find out. So come with me as we pick up our second hypercar. Wow, 2 years, two hypercars. This is crazy. Let's make some magic happen. So today is the day we are picking up the second hypercar to come to the collection. It has brought us all the way here to Ventura collection in Milton Keynes, and they have an almighty collection of cars. So before we reveal the hypercar, let's talk to some of the guys that work here, go through some numbers with my finance guy, and also look at what they have. So we've just walked in and instantly we are greeted with the maddest collection of cars. Right behind me, we have a LaFerrari, a member of the Holy Trinity, and over there we have a P1, another member of the Holy Trinity. The only thing they're missing is a 918 Spyder, but I'm not gonna sell them mine. And speaking of selling, here is the guy that I bought the car from, Michael.
How you doing?
It's nice to see you.
Okay.
It's nice to see where money goes, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're picking up a car today, but before we pick up the car, I want people to know more about you because obviously when we went and picked up the 918, we spoke about the dealership, we spoke with the people that work there, and I think it's always nice that people could put a face to the dealership instead of it just being this entity. So how long have you guys been here for?
Been going for just over 3 years.
Yeah.
Started it up with just a few supercars and then just kept building it up every year. We buy everything in, so don't do SOR that often, prefer to buy stuff and just high spec, low mileage, nice cars,
Okay. Hypercars, let's talk about, that's what we're here for, right? You have tons of supercars, you have hypercars, you have the LaFerrari. How much are these worth now?
It's a special one because this is only about 120 miles on it, so it's a low mileage car. We're not actively selling this, but between like 4.5, 5 mil.
Oh wow, okay, that's a lot of money. That's like more than every single car that I own combined. Probably every single car that I've ever owned combined. And then the P1 is a lot less.
It is,
because it's not a Ferrari.
That's the thing. It's just as special, isn't it? It's rarer than those.
This is the most rare in the Holy Trinity.
375. And they're worth like half. Half of these, so.
But this one isn't for sale?
No.
No, okay.
No.
The P1s are gorgeous cars.
They are.
My issue with the P1 was the battery, the maintenance, because if that battery goes 150 grand
about that.
to repair, so that's
expensive.
With a lot of these hypercars, and I've spoken about this before, that's why I kind of leaned towards the 918 when I was looking for my hypercar from the Holy Trinity, just because Porsche's reliability has been a lot greater than these two cars. But we're here to talk the hypercar that I bought today. I don't want to reveal it just yet, but I just want to ask, the car that I bought, in terms of the market, It's been strange, hasn't it?
Done very well though.
Yeah.
In the last year, well, last 6 months, isn't it? Because last year they're really good value. They've shot up and they just keep creeping up.
Yeah.
They're doing really well.
Even since the time I bought it. So I actually bought it like a
month ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I'm just picking it up now because I went on holiday. I did loads of other stuff.
Busy.
Bought it a month ago, but in that month, I've made money just by leaving it parked here.
Probably 100 grand.
Yeah. Hey, that's my favorite thing to do is make money, especially when I can make money and have a car. I haven't even driven it yet and it's already made money. So without further ado, it's time to reveal the new Hypercar that's been added to the collection. It has been an interesting journey with ups and downs and stress, but alas, we're here. The car is ready to be revealed, so I'm ready to introduce you to our latest Hypercar, the McLaren Senna. Oh, that looks mad. Oh, wow, that is crazy. This is my first time seeing it. This looks mad. What? Yo, this looks crazy. This is my genuine reaction. I'm not. This looks flipping mad. In black, it looks nuts. Wow.
And the blue pinstripe.
The blue's doing bits, man. The blue was a good idea.
Yeah.
That was a really good idea.
Inside it doesn't show much, but when it's in the light, it pops that blue pinstripe. Because you don't see it much in this lighting.
Flipping hell. So here it is, the McLaren Senna, McLaren's homage to one of the greatest Formula One drivers of all time, Ayrton Senna, a car that's focused, and the hypercar that's designed for car enthusiasts. So this car is number 54 of 500. They only made 500 McLaren Sennas, and it's only done 590 miles. And it has a really nice sounding horn, apparently. This looks crazy. Of all the cars that are in the collection right now, this is certifiably the most insane looking. The SVJ looks nuts, but this looks like a UFO, like it literally looks like a spaceship. So the McLaren Senna isn't your conventional car in general. When McLaren designed this car, they were very proud of the fact that it doesn't look conventional at all. In fact, it looks pretty much controversial because every single hole, every single slat, every single surface is designed for one thing: performance. The philosophy of the car was to make something that will go to every single track and take the road car record. And this car certifiably has. The most outrageous part of the Senna, the rear wing. In the past, I've spoken about a Senna and I've said, if I ever get one, I'll remove the rear wing, but it's actually insane. And also it's like an integral part of the car, so you can't remove it easily. Anyway, this thing generates up to 800 kilograms of downforce. The Senna, in fact, generates so much downforce that the wing has to resettle itself the faster you go in order not to damage the suspension system, which is absolutely crazy. The car has over 789 horsepower. It can do 0 to 60 in sub 2.5 seconds. The engine was originally designed, in fact, the car was originally designed to be a Le Mans car. A lot of people don't really know about this, but McLaren had a Le Mans project and they were gonna submit the Senna, but they ran out of money. And they said, how can we make more? Well, we'll turn it into a road car and sell it to everyone. And that's what they did. So essentially, I'm driving a Le Mans car for the road. And you can tell by when you look on the interior. McLaren designed the interior of the car to be, in their own words, antisocial. Everything here is focused on performance. Even the steering wheel doesn't have any buttons. The steering system on this car is electro-hydraulic, meaning that it's hydraulic with some electrical power assistance. So when you drive this car, you just feel as dialed in as possible. Everything is focused towards the driver, and these Senna seats are designed to hold you in while still looking pretty. And that's probably where the pretty part of the car stops, because every vent on this car is designed for performance. So it wasn't made to look nice, it was just made to look and go fast, which it does. Having this car right now feels monumental. Two very crazy cars in the collection, two hypercars. The SVJ is crazy in its own right, but two very renowned cars that are designed for one thing, and that's just to wow the person that owns it. And I feel wowed in this Senna right now. Like, it just feels insane. And the fact that it's like basically brand new just makes it even sweeter.
How many miles gone?
590 miles on the clock. So it hasn't done anything.
Brand new car.
Brand new car. I'm gonna go and put like 10,000 miles on it, but this is amazing. It's just crazy. Everything about it is just crazy. The engine in this car, codenamed M840TR, was an improved version of the engine you got in the McLaren P1. So it has 65 more horsepower, thanks to things like lighter pistons, con rods, and a flat pane crank. This is an absolute monster. It's light as well. So it's significantly lighter than any other McLaren. In fact, this is the lightest car that they've ever produced. Weighing in at about 1,200 kg dry, it produces about 660 brake horsepower per ton, and it can also stop from 124 miles an hour to 0 in 100 meters. That's literally like race car stopping distance. The McLaren Senna is designed to be the ultimate weapon, the ultimate car, and that's what it looks like, because it looks like a flipping UFO. When you lower the doors, the car just looks absolutely insane. We have windows that don't go down. You know, a car isn't special unless it inconveniences your life. That is super inconvenient. Only this section drops down because down here, there is also glass. And they say that it was designed so you could see apexes, but I think they just wanted something cool to do there, so it just doesn't look like a P1 door. So last time when I picked up the Pista and when I picked up the 918 Spyder, I introduced you guys to Alex from Charles & Dean. So Alex works at a company that helps fund cars and helps look for solutions when people want to fund cars. The Senna, in general, what does it look like to you and to, I guess, lenders?
It's an interesting proposition because a lot of McLarens in general, they have a reputation in the market for substantial depreciation. But we're seeing certainly in the market at the minute quite the opposite. And it's translating that with a lot of lenders getting their heads around it. And I think we needed to see multiple Sennas trading for significant numbers before they started recognising that without asking for large deposits, offering decent balloons, and I think you've come in at the right time, jumping on that upswing in terms of values, but also getting the right price in package, making sure it sort of suits the collection, and sort of fits with everything. And again, it was finding that package, again working with yourself and your team as much to get all that sorted, and here we are.
So it made sense, and since it's been sat here, it's made about 100 grand. Since we purchased it, because obviously we purchased it like a month ago. In terms of future values, I've been saying to people that I think one day these are going to be very expensive. There's less Sennas than there are Ferrari F40s, and this is probably the modern day version of an F40 in terms of how mad it is. Because when the F40 came out, people were like, that looks horrific. It's just track focus, just this, that. That's kind of like this. Carbon fiber, track focus, absolutely insane. So I think, in my personal opinion, don't take this as financial advice whatsoever, but in my personal opinion, I think this car one day will be a very special and expensive car. Anyway, if you're looking to fund a car, if you have any questions, Alex works at a company called Charles & Dean. You can check him out. Link is in the description below. You could ask for Alex, but he's kind of exclusive to me now. I'm joking. They've got tons of people that can help you with cars. So listen, when I fund a car, when I finance cars in the past, up to now, it's been about 6 years now we've been working together, 5-6 years.
Long time.
And they've never, ever, ever let me down. Michael's here, and you see tons of hypercars all the time. You know what's weird? Some people try and say the Senna's not a hypercar. However, I feel like it does fall into the hypercar bracket for, I guess, a few reasons. But I think the main reason is that there is no base version of a Senna. Yes, it has the same engine as the 720S, but the 720S has the same engine as the McLaren P1. But this engine's been adapted. And you could say the same thing, LaFerrari has the same engine as the F12 or the 599 GTO. You could say a bunch of stuff. So engine is not the same. The car looks visually different. It performs differently. So I don't think it has a base version, in my personal opinion. It's not called the 788, if that's out now. So it's not called that. It is called the McLaren Senna. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's not something you'd want to drive every single day. You could do, probably wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, you could.
But then also, it has that exclusive nature. You don't see this car around.
It's just a looks, isn't it, really? That's the biggest thing with them. The spoiler, like you compare that to all of the other cars, there's nothing that looks like that.
Exactly.
It looks insane.
Absolutely. Well, there's nothing that looks like that. Do you know what looks like that? This Senna GTR that's parked right next to it. So some of you keen-eyed viewers are probably thinking, why didn't you buy that? And well, you can't drive that on the road. It would be cool
not road legal.
Yeah, and that's worth less than a regular Senna.
Yeah, it will
because it's
works
not
out.
worth,
So
exactly. That's why I didn't get a Senna GTR. Before any of you comment, that's why. When you see the Senna in person, it genuinely, the only term I could use to describe it is UFO. Like, it is just insane. Every angle has like a feature or some kind of aerodynamic element.
And when you're driving it, you've got the glass bits in the door, which is crazy. Such a weird feeling.
I remember last year, because my friend let me borrow his, my friend Kyle Hewitt, he's not here today, but he let me borrow his Senna last year. I drove it home from Supercar Fest. He was trying to convince me to get one. I was like, oh, I'm not sure. Anyway, I drove it home. And I just remember looking down and being like, that is the road. Like, it was just the weirdest experience.
It is.
But the car is surreal. It's just, To see this car in person, it really takes your breath away. Honestly, it's just something out of this world. You know what? We haven't started up. We haven't started up the 4-litre V8 with a flat plane crank and twin scroll turbos. So yeah, let's get it fired up. This is my window. I went to put the window down to talk to you, but this is all I have. This car feels like a race car. This feels just as special as driving the 918 Spyder. When you get in the 918 Spyder, it's like an occasion, the carbon, the way the cockpit is, the way the car handles and drives, the power. But this car is just as special, but in a different way, because this feels so focused and dialed in. Like, this is probably the most focused that you can get in like a road car, apart from something like an Aston Martin Valkyrie, which would just be even more insane. But this is really nice. I really like this. The sound, I remember it being louder inside, but I guess we're not on the motorway yet.
Yeah, true.
But it feels sick. I think we need to go on the motorway. Let's do a motorway run. We're at home. This feels a lot nicer, and we're going very flipping fast. I didn't even floor it, and we were almost going to lose our license. It's loud in here. It is loud. So I feel like head protection, ear protection is going to be necessary for long journeys. Otherwise, it's just going to bother you. But other than that, it's pretty chill. Anyway, back to why I got the Senna. This car is absolutely insane. There were 500 made, and all 500 were sold before the car was even released. This car was a car that was overlooked. It was called ugly. It wasn't respected. If this sounds familiar, we can look at things like the Carrera GT. I remember when Carrera GTs were 160 grand. No one wanted them. And now, look at them. It's the same thing that we're seeing with the McLaren Senna. This will go down, and I say it, and I'll continue saying it, as one of the greatest cars ever made, and possibly the greatest McLaren road car to ever hit the streets. In 20 years, when everything's hybrid and everything's electric, people are gonna look at the Senna and say, holy, because there is nothing else that looks like that, performs like that, and has that kind of heritage attached to its name. This is a personification of motorsport history. And when we look back and we see that this car is way more expensive, way more revered, and way more significant in terms of history, we remember Tomi told you. This is it, the sun is here, and it looks absolutely incredible. It is such a surreal experience to drive this car, especially because of these little like glass elements there. There's Gorilla Glass, so you can like see the ground. It's just so weird. I've never really driven anything like this apart from the other Senna that I drove. It just feels very raw, and I assume that this is what, you know, a race car would feel like. I've never really driven a race car before, but yeah, it's just unbelievable. I really want to take it on track. If I could take it on track before the end of summer, that'd be amazing, but I need to find the right track day and hope the weather's still like this. I would love to, this on Silverstone, this would be sick, because it's got the power and it's got the downforce. Anyway, thank you for joining. A new car has joined the collection, and it is a hypercar. The search has concluded with the purchase of this McLaren Senna. I tried to keep this set of videos short this time, because last time people were like, oh, dragging it out, there's too many videos. I wanted to bring you guys on a journey, so we condensed it this time. Let us know if it worked or if you wanted to see more. But yeah, this car just looks mad. Everyone that sees it is like, oh my God, what is that? So subscribe, I guess, for more. And I haven't forgot about the P1, so stay tuned on the P1. Am I turning into a McLaren guy?